Panasonic has just released its newest box camera this time. It's the full-frame Lumix BS1H. If you're already familiar with the Lumix lineup, this camera's moniker may seem familiar. Indeed, the BS1H shares many similarities with the Lumix BS1H. However, it distinguishes itself in a few key ways. Most obviously is its box-like form factor. The Lumix BS1H has the same video performance and capabilities as the BS1H. This means it comes equipped with powerful internal recording options such as OpenGate 6K, 24:4:2, 0:10-bit, and DCI 4K up to 6:4:2, 0:10-bit, all without any recording. Where the BS1H distinguishes itself is in its inputs and outputs. This camera comes loaded with tons of studio and live streaming connectivity, such as SDI out, timecode in or out, Genlock, and an Ethernet port. In this review, we'll discuss the pros and cons of the Lumix BS1H and figure who exactly this camera is for. While the BS1H and BS1H share a similar form factor, Panasonic managed to squeeze a full-frame sensor inside the BS1H. The BS1H uses the same fantastic 24.2 megapixel full-frame sensor found in. It comes with features like dual native ISO, 14+ stops of dynamic range, Vlog and HLG, anamorphic video, and a plethora of different recording options. In total, there are an astounding 50 different recording options you can choose from. They offer all kinds of resolutions, frame rates, compression, and more. The camera's 6K resolution mode is the most notable recording option. However, has a caveat, or color sample. While 6K resolution support is a nice marketing talking point, it's a bit overkill for most users. That's not to mention the 4:2:0 color sampling, which leaves us wanting more. Still, it's a nice advantage to shoot in 6K because it offers a lot of framing flexibility in post-production. However, the most exciting capture setting, and our favorite choice, is the camera's beautiful full-frame 4K 10-bit 4:2:2 at 400 Mbps setting, downsampled from the 6K sensor. In this capture setting, the BS1H can record 10-bit with 4:2:2 color sampling, allowing it to record more RGB information and offer quite a bit of flexibility in post-production. Due to the small form factor of this box-style camera, there wasn't any room for in-body image stabilization. That said, you're not likely to use the BS1H for run and gun shooting. Instead, you're more likely to keep the BS1H mounted to a gimbal, a drone, or, most likely, iPod. Also, using a lens with built-in stabilization does provide decent stabilization. All this means not having in-body image stabilization isn't a huge deal breaker. The BS1H uses the same Panasonic DFD autofocusing system found on other. Even though Panasonic keeps making minor tweaks to improve its autofocus algorithm, there is still noticeable focus hunting wobble. In turn, the camera can be inaccurate and slow when grabbing focus on the subject. We did some simple tests with the subject walking slowly towards the camera and walking in and out of the frame. The camera was slow to grab focus and did a poor job at keeping up with a moving subject. However, it's unlikely any professionals will use the camera's autofocus, so this isn't a detrimental issue. It's also worth noting the Panasonic Lumix BS1H has access to active track when paired with a DJI Ronin RS2 or DJI RSC2 There are a few profile options on the BS1H, such as Vlog and Hybrid Log Gamma. HLG offers quite good dynamic range and rich colors without too much fussing about in post-production. Vlog is Panasonic's logarithmic gamma curve, and it provides the most possible dynamic range and flexibility for color grading in post. It is a powerful, helpful tool to have. The BS1H comes with Vlog pre-installed, which can't always be said for Lumix cameras. In our dynamic range test, we saw 14+ stops of dynamic. Panasonic did an excellent job providing the BS1H with an array of shoot assist features. Several features are available for use during both internal recording and when outputting a signal to an external device. Vlog View Assist is an excellent option to have, and it works when sending out signals via HDMI and SDI. You can also load in some of your favorite LUT presets into the camera. Similarly, the camera features Hybrid Log Gamma View Assist, which converts your HLG image to Rec 709. It also features a handy red record frame indicator, a helpful feature we're seeing on more cameras these days. Additionally, there's an anamorphic to squeeze a luminance spot meter and some typical features such as histogram, zebras, and peaking. Next, let's dive into the BS1H menu and its usability. The menu system will be familiar for Lumix owners because the system is unchanged. This is good news for those new to Lumix because its menu systems are very intuitive to navigate. Unfortunately, The entire control interface is much less enjoyable to use on the B1H versus the... That's because the B1H has the advantage of touchscreen functionality via its rear screen, which makes changing exposure controls and navigating the menu a breeze. The B1H also has many more external controls, dedicated exposure dials, and custom function buttons. This camera shares a lot of similarities with its two siblings, the B1H and BGH1. The B1H features an almost identical form factor with the B. Although the B1H is a box-style design, there's still quite a bit of ergonomics to discuss. Let's get the most obvious out of the way. There is no monitor or screen of any kind. It would have been nice for Lumix to add something like the top digital information display found on the B1H to view basic exposure control settings. We've seen this on at least one competitor's box-style camera.